How's it going out there, YouTubers? Cyberneticshark here with another new movie review for you. So let's get right into this review and see what it's about. The other night, I had the pleasure of watching a horror classic that didn't do too well in theaters when it first came out, but has kind of garnered a cult following at the same time as being considered one of the worst horror films of all time. And that is called Cursed. Now, this movie is just absolutely, I think, a great film, but at the same time, of course, the graphics are probably one of the worst of its time. But at the same time, even though the graphics were so bad and so cheesy, I still feel the movie was a decent film. Now, this movie was written by the awesome Kevin Williamson, who has directed and written great other films. He co-wrote and helped write the Scream films, and he's written quite a few other great films. But this awesome film was directed by the awesome Mr. Wes Craven. Now, Wes Craven, we all know from, the Scream series and so forth. But a couple films that he is really known for, or is, known for being such great cult films, such as the original The Hills Have Eyes, which was one of his earlier works that a lot of people enjoyed. I actually thought that movie was kind of hokey dokey and not one of his best. I didn't really care for it too much. I thought it was pretty funny and lame. Even though the graphics in this were lame, that movie's graphics for 1977 were even horrible. Even worse, I feel. They were just ridiculously retarded. I'm sorry. If anybody loves The Hills Have Eyes, I'm sorry out there. I just think it was a horribly made film. I didn't think it was anything great. I couldn't believe it after I watched it. I was like, what did I just watch? But that's one of the films that Wes Craven's known for. He's also known for another great film, and also a fifth or sixth in the series of the film series, and that is Wes Craven's A New Nightmare, which was considered the, next or new portion to the Freddy franchise, really. It was kind of a continuation after supposedly the last Nightmare on Elm Street was supposed to be its final nightmare. But Wes Craven ended up coming back and doing a whole other new film to reintroduce Freddy to a new generation, basically. But he's also known for the original Nightmare on Elm Street as well. But at the same time, Wes Craven just wasn't a great, amazing, director. He just made such great films. And I don't feel that Cursed is any different than some of his other films. I think he did a great job of directing it. He put, a lot of soul and heart into it. And I thought he made a decent film that just didn't get enough. He didn't get enough money, or he didn't get the right type of people to help him with the special effects of the film. Because one of the things that you read about, unfortunately for this film, is that there was a lot of conflict with what he wanted to do with film, but the company that wanted him to produce, that was producing the film and wanted to get it out, wanted the CGI work differently. They actually wanted CGI versus the original prosthetics and costume looking werewolves. So there was quite a friction in that, and so that's another reason why the film didn't do so well. So even though Wes Craven is a great director, unfortunately this suffered because of that conflict. I think he did an amazing job, though. I really enjoy Wes Craven. I think he's made so many great films, and I don't think this is any worse than any of his other ones, and I think it's just as good. Now, this movie has a great cast. Besides the awesome, Wes Craven directing it, we have the beautiful and gorgeous Miss Christina Ricci in this film. Now, she plays one of the main roles of the film, but she also is kind of considered like a co-captain in the film, because Jesse Eisenberg really is kind of the other captain as well. So they kind of, have the same main role, really, because they're brother and sister in the film. So that was quite fun to see them work together, because I've never seen them work together. And also, this is my second time watching this film. I hadn't seen it in probably 10 years or so. And it was quite fun to rewatch it, because I forgot how well done the film itself was and the idea behind it. But like I said, the awesome and gorgeous Christina Ricci is in this, and we know her from a great film that I think is funny as hell, and that is Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star, which was super funny, I thought, and Nick Swartzen was hilarious in it. She also was in another great film that I don't feel that she, gets enough credit for it, because I think it was a great film, but it didn't do very well, like, in the theaters or anything like that. That movie is the awesome Penelope movie. Now, I feel Penelope was an amazing, fun, like, kids, family-friendly film, and it did not get nowhere enough credit for how good it was. Kind of like the Nanny McPhee films. I just think Penelope was a fun and enjoyable movie that was just pure entertainment, and I didn't think it deserved to be ranked so low or even be considered a crappy movie, but I think that was a really good movie. I really enjoyed Christina Ricci in it. But Christina Ricci's role in this film is actually pretty fun. She plays kind of like the serious kind of older sister role in the film, and she tries to be like, oh no, this isn't happening, when it actually is happening. And she did a good job. I think she was superb in it. I really enjoyed her, and I thought she did a good job in the film. I think pretty much everything she's in, I think she does a decent job. But I definitely don't think this is probably one of her worst roles. I think it's probably one of her better roles, and it was fun to see her in a Wes Craven film, We also have in the film, as I was talking about earlier, Mr. Jesse Eisenberg. Now, Jesse Eisenberg, we all recognize from such films as American Ultra, which he starred in with Kristen Stewart, which was considered a flop of a film too, but at the same time, a decent film. I still haven't seen it, which I want to, because it looks like an interesting story, but definitely something that a lot of people recognize Jesse Eisenberg from, because it's something more recent. He also was in another great movie with Kristen Stewart, and that is the film Adventureland, which I think is a really good film. It's directed by the same guy that directed Superbad, and it just was a fun, interesting, like, dated type of film, because it's supposed to be in the 70s, and I thought it was just really fun to watch. Probably one of Kristen Stewart's best films, I feel. Far better than any of her Twilight performances, I thought. Just a fun, interesting film about like a theme park type of deal, and people working at it, and them living their lives and kind of getting to know each other and try to, date people and so forth. It was a really interesting film. I enjoyed it a lot. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Worth a watch. But I really enjoyed Jesse Eisenberg in this too, kind of playing kind of that younger brother role and kind of trying to play kind of innocent a little bit. I thought that was quite interesting for him. It was definitely different than any other role I had seen him in. I thought it was definitely interesting to see him kind of be a little bit more like adventurous a little bit in the film, not so like such a scaredy cat type of role where he's like such a nerd, So it was it was a good, decent role for him, and I really enjoyed him in it. I thought he did a good job. He really contributed to the film and made it a decent film. We also have in the film the awesome Mr. Joshua Jackson. Now, Joshua Jackson, of course, everyone knows from the Mighty Duck films and so forth. But I feel a couple films that he really was good in that he doesn't get enough credit for are such films as the great 2000-something film with Paul Walker, The Skulls, which I thought was a really good film. It was just a very interesting, like, thriller type / kind of like horror film. With a conspiracy theory type of thing going on in it. It was a really good film, and Joshua Jackson was really good in it. It was like one of his first films that he really kind of was like more serious and more adult-like versus the Mighty Ducks films. So that was really nice to see him in. He also was in another great movie. That film was the awesome Cruel Intentions. Now, Cruel Intentions also starred Ryan Phillippe and his then wife, Reese Witherspoon, and also Sarah Michelle Gellar. But his short part in the film was very fun, I think. It was very different than anything else he's played in. And also, he played a gay type of character, I believe, if I remember correctly. And that was different, too, for him, because he was kind of sporting the blonde look in that film, too. So, like, all these changes that he was doing from being on Dawson's Creek at the time and, being in this movie, it was kind of funny to see him in such a different light. And I think that's why his character in the film was so fun. And it was very interesting. to see him in that type of role as well. Just like, because I said he was in the Mighty Ducks, and so it was kind of like he was a teenager type of kid and kind of family friendly type film, not an adult film. So both of these films I feel really showed his soon to be good acting chops, and he did a good job in this. He was very mysterious in the film, played kind of like the main type of werewolf character very well, I thought, and he did a good job. You were kind of like wondering, which way is he going? Who is he? What is he doing? So I thought he did a really good, fun job in this, and just was a wonderful treat in the film. We also have in the film the awesome Miss Portia de Rossi. Now, Portia de Rossi, we all know her from the great TV show that started on Fox and then went to Netflix as Michael Bluth's twin sister in Arrested Development, which was a great show, and still is a great show, and I can't wait for season 5 to come out. Oh, that's going to be so amazing. Absolutely thought she was hilarious in that show. Loved her. Just like with everyone else in the show, I just think that's an amazing show that Mitchell Horowitz just made, and great. It was one of the best ideas I've seen, and he just did an amazing job with it. But yeah, Portia de Rossi was really good in that. But she was also in another movie that I was surprised that she was in, because I didn't really remember her role in the film because it's been so long since the movie. But that movie is the horror film Stigmata. Now, Stigmata also has Gabriel Byrne in it too as well. And it's just one of those kind of horror, kind of has to do with, Michael, Dark Angel, Satan kind of thing going on a little bit in the film. And Portia de Rossi's character in the film is very different than her previous characters I've seen her play. So it was quite interesting to see her in the film. Even though it wasn't a huge role, it was still fun to watch, and definitely was an interesting and different character than, say, on Arrested Development or her character in Scream 2 or, or any other thing she's done over the years. But she was pretty fun in this. It wasn't a huge part. It was kind of just bit parts here and there throughout the film. But she was great as the fortune teller lady and trying to, warn them about what was going on and stuff like that. And so she was quite funny, and I enjoyed her in the film and thought it was really fun. We also have another actress that's in this film that has a brief part that is pretty much at the beginning of the film, and that is by Miss Awesome Shannon Elizabeth. Now, Shannon Elizabeth we all recognize from the great comedy film from 1999, American Pie, as the foreign exchange student. But she also was known, and is really big for, is the awesome 2000 comedy film Scary Movie as well. And her brief part in this is kind of funny because, she kind of plays like a scared person that's yelling all the time, and it wasn't a huge part, but at the same time, it was kind of like, it was still funny to see her in the role kind of play a little bit of a comedic time when she gets killed in the film, and you're just kind of like, you just start laughing because it was so fake and supposed to be like that B movie type of quality acting. And so it was really fun to have her in it, even though she kind of gets top billing for the movie. She wasn't in the movie that long, but at the same time it was fun to see her kind of be this victim of a werewolf, and you're like, that's kind of funny, but also at the same time cool. But she also made the film enjoyable too at that beginning part of the film. She definitely made the film funny and silly. To round off this awesome cast, the final person I'm going to be talking about, an actress, is actually considered the main villain of the film, and that is the awesome and funny Judy Greer. Now, Judy Greer has had an extensive career and has a huge amount of cameos and small parts in all kinds of different movies. But some of her best roles have been in the short capacity type of movies that are just fun and hilarious. One of the ones I feel that she is known for is the awesome comedy / kind of horror thriller film Jawbreaker with Rose McGowan and Rebecca Gayheart and Julie Benz. And her part in that is actually really funny and fun, and just a funny and awesome role that really made that movie very fun. But Judy Greer was also in another awesome film that I was really surprised about. And that film was the awesome, amazing, funny Annette Bening and the awesome, hilarious Gary Shandling film, what planet are you from? And her part in that film was very fun too. It was another one of those films that you just kind of you enjoyed, and you enjoyed the characters in it, and she did a really good job in that film. But I really enjoyed Rudy Gurr in this, playing the bad guy character. You really don't realize that she's the bad guy until the very end of the film, which is really good at hiding in really good screenplay, making it, not knowing what's actually going on. And I just thought she played the part really well. It was very funny, very interesting. She plays, she always plays really good, like, callous type of people very well. That bitch type of character. And so she, delivered again in this film and made the movie enjoyable in a whole as well. Just like I said, everyone in the film just did a really good job and really made the film fun. Like I said, even though the special effects weren't there and it didn't do so well at the theaters, I still think that the movie itself is an amazing film. And just an all-around fun pleasure. Now, if you're not familiar with what Cursed is about, basically what it's about is that the two siblings, Christina Ricci and Jesse Eisenberg, are in a car crash, and all of a sudden they start having these weird things happen to them that have to do with werewolves. And soon they realize that they're turning into werewolves, and they got to figure out, how it happened, who this other werewolf was that turned them into it, and how to deal with it and how to fix it, basically. And that's pretty much what the movie's premise is about. Like I said, awesome movie, really hilarious, fun, and enjoyable. It's not going to win any Oscars, of course not, but at the same time, this is just a fun, pure movie that's enjoyable. That's what movies are supposed to be. Enjoyable and fun, and that's what this did. I give this one 9 Golden Movie boxes up. Most definitely. Not fully 10, but definitely 9 Golden Movie boxes, and I think it's a pleasurable movie, a real fun film. I really enjoyed it. Definitely a breathtaking supernatural thriller, I feel, too, as well. Just an all-around fun movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Worth the watch. It's really fun. Especially this version, too. This is the unrated version that gives you 2 extra minutes of awesomeness. I know it's only 2 minutes, but still, that 2 minutes really makes this version better than the PG-13 cut they put in theaters. Definitely fun to watch, real enjoyable, and definitely worth the watch. Go ahead and check it out, people. It's real fun. So that's it for this movie review, folks. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. As always, thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't already subscribed and this is your first time here, go ahead, hit that button so that you don't miss one of my awesome videos, of any sorts of videos, because they're all awesome and fun, and they're here for you. And also, please, keep an eye out for any older, newer videos you might not have seen mine yet. And as always, go ahead and check that link down below. Especially with it being the month of October, what better month is it than to get some awesome horror Blu-rays or horror DVDs? That awesome link is about this awesome subscription pack that's called Horror Pack. Now, Horror Pack is 4 DVDs or 4 horror Blu-rays that come right to your door monthly of awesome horrorness. Now, also, there's limited editions that only Horror Pack provides that you get in some of these boxes. So, you could, be, opening your box and all of a sudden you get this one DVD and you're like, Knuckle Bones? This looks really good. You watch and you're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And it says limited edition on it. You're like, wow, I wouldn't have gotten to see this or have this if I hadn't gotten the awesome Horror Pack. So go ahead, people. Click that link. Check it out. Try out the month subscription. It's awesome. And if you are interested in signing up, people, let me know down in the comments, and I'll hook you up with a discount for your first month. That's right, discount, people. Yeah. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.